And in three, two, one. Hey man, we live, man. Another episode of Let's Talk Battle Rap. It's your host France, man, and I got a good friend of the show, always down to come on to the show and talk that shit with us. Bad Money, straight from Philadelphia.
Thank you for having me again, friends. I appreciate the opportunity.
Open door
Let's chop
policy,
it up.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Open door policy. You always welcome, man. Before we get rolling with everything, I want to give a quick shout out to my man V holding it down. He has some family things to take care of, and it's always bigger than battle rap when you got to take care of family priorities and all that stuff. So, shouts to him and his situation. I hope he's doing well. He'll be back on soon.
Definitely, man. Let V know. You know what I mean? He's in our hearts and our prayers. You know what I mean? At this moment. You know what I mean? And he'll be back soon to give y'all the consistent heat. You know what I mean? He's been dropping.
He'll be back.
Shout out to V, man.
He'll be back for me to catch some weird shit that I say, and he'll be here to pause me real soon. You feel me?
All the time, man. That's V, man. V catch that shit all the time, man.
Yo, he doesn't let nothing fly. It gets crazy sometimes where it's just like I'm talking and I'm like, yo, what? That's a pause? I think, it was one time we were texting and I was like, I think we are talking about DNA. Something about like DNA had a battle coming up. And I was like, yo, DNA Twork gonna be crazy. He said, yo, pause. I'm like, what's the pause? And he was like, you said DNA and Twork. I'm like, yo, come. I forgot what it was. It was some shit like that. And I was just like, yo, this just got crazy, man.
He catch that shit. Even on, you know what I mean, episodes that I listened to y'all that I wasn't even on. He be right on it. You know what I mean? And then he catches it before he
foreshadows that shit. And then
he's like balls real quick before shout out to my guy Z.
I love when we have the guests on and then like they say some pause worthy shit, but they rambling, so they like he can't cut them off. So he'll be like, pause. He'll whisper, he goes, pause. And then like when you play it back, you're like, wait a fucking minute, who said that? Yo, man.
Wild shit, man.
But shouts to V, man. And so today, Friday, July 27th, URL finally closed their power rankings. So they opened up a power rankings this past week. I believe on Monday or Tuesday, and they wanted everybody to vote for who was a battle rapper that deserved to be on the rankings for 2018. And I like the fact that they made the list strictly 2018, and they also cut out the fact that PGs don't count. So sorry, Loso, you're not on this list. But before we even get into the list, I want to talk about like the idea of them creating a power index. I fucks with it because no list in battle rap is ever going to be accurate. People are going to create a top 5, a top 10, this and that, a list for whatever you want to make it. It's never going to be accurate, but all you need is somebody credible to create the opportunity to make a list, and it creates conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know what I mean? A lot of lists, period, are going to be opinionated based off of, whoever's doing the list, whether there's an individual or organization, you know what I mean, of individuals that are doing the list. You know what I mean? So battle rap is an opinionated sport, which makes it so technical with everything, where you critiquing everything. You know what I mean? And you're pretty much trying to line up stats and everything. I mean, the fact that it's opinionated makes it hard to do. You know what I mean? But creating lists like this shows who's in demand at the time and who do the people feel like, is the top dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love when a list comes out, man. I remember when the Source dropped their first. When anybody drops a list, first it depends where it's coming from, and then who's putting it out there, because that makes it already credible or not to want to discuss. Like when the Source dropped their top 20 for 2017, like I loved it because at least the Source was covering battle rap, even if we didn't agree with certain spots of it. And this list isn't coming from like a blogger, a website, a hip hop media company. This is coming from URL themselves. You're all saying, hey,
right,
throw out your votes for what's going on and what you think of this and that. And the website they use, Ranker.com. Ranker's a leading digital media company for opinion-based crowdsource like rankings and websites. So like they used it as a social platform, and it puts the power of like the hands of Ranker into the audience. So the audience has to answer like all these topics, and Ranker's been used for anything you want to think about: pop culture, sports, politics, brands, lifestyle, food. Forget about it. And it has a unique technology where the system of the rankings is like voting up and voting down. So obviously URL put a list of all of its active MCs for 2018, and you have to vote up or down. And so whatever MC got the most votes up, so whoever got the most votes to agree with and the least votes to disagree with had a percentage called the disagree percentage. And I think the reason why a ranker highlights the disagree percentage is because it rather highlight who doesn't like this opinion, to show there's less people in the world to dislike something than more people to dislike it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a room with 10 of your friends and you say, "Hey, you ever ate at this pizza spot? Who is it good?" You want to know who says it's good versus who's saying it's not
what
good.
percentage of who?
Yeah. So then when you find out who's saying it's not good, if less people in the room say it's not good, if only 2 out of the 10 people in the room say it's not good, then you say to yourself, okay, so it must be good because the majority agrees that it is good. So that's why I think Ranker highlights the disagree rate. And a little bit more about the website, bro. I actually I did some research on the website because I was like, how credible is this website? Because I didn't like the way it looked. It looked really plain, had ads all over it and shit. But Ranker.com is globally ranked as the 1359th website in the world and the 655th website in America. Pretty fucking good. Pretty credible.
URL not playing.
Nah, they're not. Like they said they're
The
gonna use
facts are the facts. Period.
There you go. The facts are the facts. When you check also, like I also compared it to other ranker websites because I'm like, the URL was URL being cheap here? Did they pick a cheap website, or did they pick something that's really credible and good? And even a lot of top 10 like HQ lists for like listing websites, ranking polls, they had Ranker.com in the top 3 of like any like credible website to use. So that's just the technical side of things, because obviously we also got to think about the technology that goes into these things, because if we're going to start putting out power indexes like we do in sports, we got to think about who's collecting the data, because data in battle rap is very hard to collect. Shouts to Battle Rap Stats, one of the few guys that does that. People aren't out here collecting data for this shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. I wonder how the MCs feel about the power rankings. Like the results and the fact that they're doing power rankings to begin with, because for real, like for them, I mean, this is a negotiating tool and it's bragging rights to throw around at the other MCs at the same time.
Yeah, man, I'm not mad at it. I definitely think popularity is gonna always have an effect on a poll. Like people want to say that polls aren't like fully accurate, but polls don't lie. Like numbers don't tell the truth, but numbers don't lie. So there's something being like told in between the numbers, and that's why I guess we're here to talk about the top 10 people that made the power rankings and to like talk about the little storyline between their year to see if like maybe, you know, they should have been voted this high. The fan base really agrees with this, and more importantly, if we don't agree with it, what's our list? You know, like that's what I do. If people don't like a battle rap list, I challenge you just to make another one. Give an alternative. Don't disagree with it. Just make an alternative. You know.
I mean, the thing about battle rap in today's era of battle rap, you know what I mean? I think this is the beauty of it and what keeps it thriving and keeps it alive is that it's opinionated. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you do have some things that are judged, you know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, certain things are on the line in certain battles, you know, whatever. But the fact that it's opinionated, you know what I'm saying, is what keeps the sport being talked about. But at the same time, you do need lists like this for the leagues as well. Because if they can see what the people are demanding, then they know who to book, you know, on what cards. You know what I mean? And damn, okay, I can't argue with this MC when he says he deserves this price because look at the polls. What are the polls showing every month? You know what I mean? That this MC is just consistently at the top of the polls every month.
Big facts. And there's a voice there. There's numbers there. People are in demand. They look at the analytics sometimes when people's names are being questioned when it comes to booking matches. And before we even get into the whole top 10 list, I actually want to talk about the bottom of the ranker list, which is hilarious to me. I'm not gonna get into the data of it, but I'm just gonna read you the last 5 names of the list. And the list ends at 47. So far, it's only been 47 active MCs on Your Row in 2018. So now at number 43. I'm reading off the list right now off URL's thing. So at number 43 is Young X. Number 44 is Newborn, Born. I think he's a little ranked too low. And the last 3, I know you're gonna laugh. If you haven't read it yet, you're gonna just start laughing. The last 3 is 45 Tech 9, 46 R Streets, and 47 Nun Nun. Oh God.
Damn. Yo.
I'm like, damn, Tech 9 made it that low, just one bad performance.
Oh man. This is wild, man.
I would have gave R Street some more credit just because he gave us a moment.
Yeah, I'm surprised. R Street is all the way down there, man. God damn. They should never gave you niggas a list. Dave Chappelle said should never gave you niggas money. They should never gave you niggas power. Oh man, the fans is gonna be wild, man. You know what I'm saying? The fans is gonna be starting to wild out with these power rankings now.
Yeah, man, I found the bottom of the list hilarious. Like you just look at it and you just can't help but laugh. Where you're just like, because you think of the years everybody had. None lost so bad he's retiring.
Well, there's no surprise to see none there. You know, that low. You know what I mean, on the list, and the people disliking him because majority rule. You know, at my watch party. You know what I mean, that niggas was like, get none the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I'm looking at Twitter afterwards, you know, and all of that in the aftermath of the battle, see what everybody's saying, and I see somebody say that, oh, none told somebody that he's retiring. They said that he said that on one of these cameras. Yeah, and in the house, they was like, good. Thank God.
That shit hurt to watch, man. And that's a whole nother conversation. So I
definitely.
I'm going to rant about that one day because I had a lot to say about Nun and Jack Boy, but I'm definitely going to touch that.
Oh, man. None had potential, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, man.
But,
moving right along.
When you scroll all the way up, when you leave the 40s and the 30s and the 20s.
Right. Let's see who's leading the pack. You know what I mean? Who are the big dogs? You know what I mean? Who do the people want to see? Who's in demand?
Facts.
Who can brag?
Yes, you get to the top 10. That's what I'm talking about. Who can brag? And before we get into the data, before we get into the years, I'm going to read the list. I'll repeat it twice if need be. Number 1 in the power rankings of URL in 2018 is Tay Roc. Number 2 is Rum Nitty. Number 3 is Geechi Gotti. Number 4 is Jerzey Twork. And number 5 is Hollow the Don. So that's a top 5 right there. And that top 5 is an interesting top 5. And I was like, okay, I'm not too mad at it. I think the placement of it is weird, but I'm not too mad at it yet. And then we get to the bottom 5 of the top 10. Number 6, O-Red, reigning champion of the year. Number 7, B-Dot. Number 8, JC. Number 9, John the Don. And number 10, Shotgun Suge.
Yeah. 2 things.
Yes, sir.
I'm surprised Hollow is as high as he is on the list.
I am too.
And I'm surprised Suge is as low as he is on the list.
Oh, there's a lot of surprises. And
yeah.
There's a lot to talk about. I think we can... How you want to do this, man? Do you want to chop the list up? Do you want to go from 1 to 10 and talk about it? Because there's so many things that just... I'm not mad at the names. Like, every name there...
No, I'm not.
Yeah, like, every name there, I would probably put on my list, too. The placement of it, where it's kind of like, you know, like, I don't think this person is above this person. This person didn't do more than this. And...
Right. I mean, I'm a Hollow star. You know what I mean? But I'm surprised to see Hollow in the top 5 of this list because Hollow's had, one URL battle? No, excuse me, 2 in the past year. You know what I mean? And a lot of people said Hollow lost to Tay Roc. And the consensus with the Arsenal battle is that it was a trash battle. You know what I mean? Regardless of how Hollow performed or whatever. People didn't like that Hollow and Arsenal battle or whatever. You know what I mean? Hollow did his thing. But, you know what I mean? The consensus amongst most of the people was that, you know what I mean, it wasn't a good battle. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it a bean. That's not how I feel, but that was the consensus out there. You know what I mean? With this battle after what happened.
I agree, man.
So but people still want to see Hollow. You know what I mean? And he's that high on the list, and I'm surprised. Like Suge is lower than B Dot on this list because B Dot has 2 URL battles. JC might have just jumped back, you know what I mean, into the good graces of the people with that DNA performance.
Well, if we're going by 2018, Hollow only has 1 battle and B Dot only has 1 battle. If you talk about the calendar over the last 12 months, they have 2 battles, and I can I can see the argument if you're talking calendar year. You know what I'm saying?
Well, calendar year, you know what? Let's talk calendar year because I'm thinking within the last 12 months.
Okay. So you're thinking about what's happened the last 7 months of this year and a little bit of what's happened last year so far. From July 2017, July 2018 now. I think the list was constructed to, or at least it was created for it to be all 2018. But I think some people may have voted with that mindset. Like, what have I seen Hollow do the last 12 months? Yeah, Hollow and Arsenal wasn't good, but Hollow and Tay Roc was a fucking classic. So it balances out. And if people are thinking like that, then it kind of complicates.
But this is where you got to put the fine print in, man. The URL got to let us know what we're judging off of as well, or are we just judging based off of our feelings? Do they want us to base everything off of the past 12 months in URL or the past 7 months in URL?
It says it here on URL, just to be sure. It says...
Because in the past 12 months, B-Dot did have 2 battles, and Hollow they had 2 battles. But in the past 7 months, like you said, they both had 1.
I'll read it right here, right? This says, the voting the polls is closed for the power rankings. Will not open again until September 1st. So they're going to give us a whole month. They're going to wait till August passes by to see what we think of everything. Because I think more than half the people on this list are on Summer Madness. Tay Roc, Geechi, Twork.
After August, ain't no telling what this list is going to look like.
Suge. Yeah, so this whole list could change. So they're going to open again in September. But they said this power ranking should be strictly 2018. So we're going to do strictly 2018. I'm going to have to put Hollow a little lower on this list. And I'm a little upset.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I'm a little upset. Like you mentioned B-Dot. I'm a little upset with how high B-Dot is because of how low Mike P is. So it's like, okay, B-Dot did beat Mike P. He did have a great performance. He was the favorite going into it. But you guys have Mike P ranked so low that, like, it's almost saying he was supposed to beat Mike P. So why, I think they're either overrating B-Dot by this or underrating Mike P with this. One or the other is being said with him being so high in the rankings.
I'm surprised Nitty is number 2 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's
not that Nitty shouldn't be number 2. This is just what everything I'm basing my opinion off is based off of how I've seen the fans, react in the public.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is not my opinion or like I feel like the list is wrong and everything. When I say, I'm surprised at this, I'm surprised at that. No, that's not my personal opinion. I'm just looking at what I see within the battle rap, landscape or whatever online, whether it's Twitter, whether it's under comments, under battles, or under, blogs and stuff like that, or in Facebook groups and stuff like that. So that's what I mean when I say that, I'm surprised that this person is here and this person is there.
Let's talk about the top 5, and then we'll go to the bottom 5. So we both agree Hollow being number 5 is a little odd, but this one thing I'm realizing about the list, right? Where Rum Nitty's 2, Tay Roc's 1, Hollow's 5. Yeah, the popularity is going to play a little percentage into this, but all 3 of those names are like names to beat. Like since Hollow battled Big T 2010 to now, he has never not been a main event. That's crazy, right? Only time he wasn't the main event was a surprise battle against Disaster, which could have easily been a main event.
Was him and Coach the main event?
Yes, it was. Every single battle Hollow has had.
Yeah, they damn sure were.
Every single battle he's had since 2010 to now has been a main event battle. So it's almost like it's you can't have Hollow on the card and have him below somebody. The name below.
Well, I mean,
it don't add up.
Yeah, I mean, for real. I mean, they announced Hollow versus John in the UK. So this list is based off of who the people want to see, who's in demand. I mean, Hollow has its history within battle rap, so
That's a good
they
point.
want to know who the fans are excited to see. So therefore, people are still excited to see Hollow on URL in London against John John. So I mean, it's not completely surprising because people know Hollow has a battle coming up.
I also think projections. People are thinking about projections in this list. I think
Mm-hmm.
because Tay Roc being number one with one battle this year, and I'm not gonna lie, isn't it crazy that Goods had a career performance against Tay Roc, and Tay Roc looked a little more vulnerable in that battle, but it's still debatable.
Yeah,
That's kind of crazy when you think about it. It took the best
we
goods of his
seen Tay Roc
career.
bleed.
It took the best goods of his career and a Tay Roc that was bleeding, and it's still debatable. So I let you know how deadly Tay Roc could be at
That's
times.
man, that Tay Roc something else. You are something else for real.
And
You know what I mean?
let
But
me
it just shows his power on URL, man. URL's Tay Roc's house. Period. Point blank. I mean, people.
he's the face of the league. He's gonna be
Yeah,
the face of
pretty
the league
much.
no matter what. Like,
Is going to be no disputing that. I mean, when you saw this coming out and knowing that we're all going to vote, we know that Rock is going to be like at least number two.
but now the
You
thing
know what I'm
is,
saying? But who would be above Rock? You know what I'm saying? Like, if Surf would have finished Strong versus Nitty, then Surf would definitely be like number one and number two on this list. Somebody would be on this list if Surf had a third round. But
you want
you
to
know
know
what I mean?
why?
And
Not to
while
cut
we
you off.
on the subject, you know what I mean? Get well, Surf.
Yeah, facts. Shout out to Surf and hopefully speedy recovery. And we got you in our prayers, man. And not to cut you off, it's crazy you mentioned Surf, right? And I knew the ranker list wasn't fully biased or popularity based when I seen where Sue Surf was placed on the list.
Right.
I mean, Sue Surf climbed the list. He was definitely in the 20s, but he's in the 15 range. So that means even the Surf fans, every battle rapper has stands, and Surf, Clips, a couple other guys, they have the biggest stand base. Surf stands can admit, like, okay, we love Surf, but he's not having a better year than any of the 14 guys above him.
Right. And then,
That lets me know the ranker list is a little accurate. It's not too far off.
but you know what else this list shows is that the fans want stuff like this as well.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? That because of how the list is done, like as far as like not the list doesn't look biased to me. You understand what I'm saying? It really to me just shows who the people want to see, period, point blank, and who's in demand. And the fact that even with everything, you know what I'm saying, going on that he's at number 15, you know what I mean? It says like the people want to be a part of decisions, and they know this list has to do with some type of decisions that are going to be made within the structure of the URL enterprise. So therefore, they want things like this so they can be able to vote. I don't want to see this person right now. You know what I mean? Don't put him on Born Legacy or whatever.
I want to talk a little bit about the number one, Tay Roc, right? And like I explained earlier in the episode, I'm going to explain it again for everybody listening. So now that you guys kind of have a visual of what this looks like, and I'll put out my information. I'll put out a document so you guys can also get the visual while you're looking at the top 10 power rankings. So, like we said earlier, with Ranker.com, you're voting to agree with the MC and voting to disagree. Now, while Tay Roc, in my opinion, isn't having a better 2018 than certain guys on the list, Tay Roc has the smallest disagree percentage. So that means
Right.
he
42%.
42%. He's at 42%. He had 1544 votes to agree and 644 votes to disagree. 42% disagree rate. That means over 50% of people agreed that Tay Roc is the face of URL. That's undeniable.
The facts is in the pudding. On tech.
Big facts. And see, that's the thing now. While he's still the face and he's still the guy to beat, he's not technically having a better year than certain people. At least not yet. Should he be ranked above them for stature or for data? That's a good question, right?
I mean, the data is going to be the data, but stature stands alone, man. You cannot deny stature, no matter what a person's record is or whatnot. You cannot deny star power. and the demand, and you know what I mean, how many fans this person have, and how many people want to see this person at the end of the day. If the fans can have Rock on every URL card, every Born Legacy, he could battle at every PG event. If it was up to the fans, they would let him. You know what I mean? If Smack asked the fans to make that decision, hey, y'all want to see Tay Roc here, y'all want to see Tay Roc there. If the fans have power over making that decision, then yeah, Rock will be battling 600 times a year on Smack. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I think Rock will do it too. But URL wants to know who they need to build their business around. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Who are their cash cows? You know what I mean? And who are they needing to promote? So you got to have lists like this because there's like 600 million battle rappers. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of them that are on a URL. You know what I mean? And pretty much a lot of people aren't in this top 10. You know what I mean? A lot of guys talk heavy and are not within this top 10, or even in the top 20.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So this list is probably like a reality check to a lot of guys as well.
I think what makes Tay Roc so special, right, and like why we're so happy to embrace him as the face is because of the growth from like who he was early URL days. Like he was always like the undercard guy, right? Like you have
Right.
you would have Surf and Big T, you have Calico and Arsenal, and then at the bottom of the flyer you have Tay Roc and Clean. You have Arsenal and Hitman. You know, you'll have other matches on that card, Young Cannon and Tay Roc at the bottom of the card. And a lot of the guys in his class, Surf, Hitman, Conceited, K-Shine, DNA, a lot of those guys cracked a million view battle by like the third or fourth battle. Calico, you know what I'm saying? Tay Roc didn't get his million view battle till his ninth battle, bro. Actually no, till his 11th battle against B Magic. He battled Suge.
That nigga climbed up the mountain.
Suge, Shine, Skillet, Cannon, Rock, Clips, QP Rich, Cortez, Rock. Yeah, bro. Till his 11th battle.
Hey, listen, man. Tay Roc climbed up Mount Smackmore.
Yes, he did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and he rose to the top.
And we embraced it. We took it and we said, yo, he's the logo of what we represent here at Smack. And then after that, you put him on every gnome. You put him on every Summer Madness card after Summer Madness 3. You put him on every gnome. You put him on some of the bigger cards. You put him on double impacts. You took the risk with him in small markets. You put him in the traffics. And he led all the way. All the way. He headlined the last two cards 2017. So at the end of the day, Roc is the guy to beat. I have no problem with Roc being number one. Now, number two, Rum Nitty. He's also the guy to beat, but how do we feel about Rum Nitty's 2018 thus far?
I mean, he had a dope performance against Briz, and he was dope against Surf, and he lost to John, and that battle was officially out, and I think it's close on Cam, but I think John still clearly won that battle, man. John was just on one in that battle. It's not a bad battle for Nitty, you know what I mean, aside from that first round, you know, slip up or whatever. But
we also have him losing to Surf. So then for his year, he's lost two of his big matches. He has main event 2 out of his 3 battles this year, which shows he's the cash cow. He's the A side.
Right.
He's
definitely a hot demand.
Yeah.
Because you know he came into the year off of arguably the best battle of the year.
Oh, the Iron Solomon battle, yes.
Right. But he lost his first URL battle of the year.
Then he got Surf on his return. And
he really had to fight his way back up the list. I mean, we, you know what I'm saying, as in me and you, have him losing to Surf, but there's a huge majority of people that are out there that say that Rum Nitty beat Surf. You know what I'm saying? They have valid reasons to argue why Rum Nitty beat Surf. You know what I mean? And how do you feel about him and Briz? How you feel that battle came out?
I liked him and Briz a lot. Overall, I didn't like the overall event of Traffic, so of course, like I felt like
but him and Briz was a great battle.
Yeah, I feel like the environment didn't cater to all the battles on that card really well, but him and Briz was actually a really good battle. Really good battle.
Yeah, especially considering the time of night they battled with the whole air conditioner situation, and for them still put on the performances they did, you know what I mean? was good. I mean, for both of them, I think both of them, you know what I mean, did a lot for their stature this year with that battle. I mean, Rum Nitty's votes are a total of 1,379 votes up,
Yeah, so
757 votes down,
he has a
56% degree
disagree.
rate,
Yeah.
disagree rate, excuse me.
So
And he has three battles.
the only person under 50 on this whole list is Tay Roc. That's pretty insane.
Right.
It's pretty insane. People think people are confused with odds and percentages sometimes, so they'll think 50% is low. But in reality,
Right.
man, if you could be right about something more than 50% of the time, you can be a millionaire. So it's true. So like Rum Nitty, it's interesting to see him so high on the list because I feel like his year hasn't been one of his best years as to date. But Rum Nitty and Tay Roc are still the guys to beat, and they're the guys you're climbing for. Like people on the list in the bottom, right in the 20s, like the Chef Trez's, the Mike P's, the Glue Easy's, the Cortez's, the Riders, the Mr. Wavies, the Cleans, the Jerry West's. A lot of those guys would be like chasing the Tay Rocs and the Rum Nitties or the 3 and the 4 spots if they haven't battled them already. That will be their goal. And speaking of number 3 and number 4,
oh yeah, how do you feel about 3 and 4? Because 3 and 4 is surprising in a way, but then again, it's not because it says a lot, especially considering the fact that number 4 feels like they should wait their battle out. You know what I mean? Because of where they are in their careers, it's got to happen. He knows they got to clash at some point in time, but he feel like it needs like a Hitman Tay Roc type build up to it. Wow. I don't know if number 3 feels that way.
Geechi Gotti and Jerzey Twork. Geechi Gotti is number 3. He has a 57% disagree rate. Jerzey Twork is also at number 4 with a 57% disagree rate. But it's weird because Geechi Gotti has less dislikes and Twork has more likes. So obviously Twork has the bigger fan base, but Geechi Gotti has more people that cannot deny his ability. And yeah, man, I love where they're at in this list because it shows us that like the future of URL is in good hands. I was really happy.
Yeah, I mean, and Geechi's had 2 battles this year, and Twork has had 3.
Geechi's and both of Geechi's battles, he's won champion of the night.
Champion of the night. And you know another reason why Geechi is so high on this list, right? Mm-hmm. You know one of the main reasons he's so high on this list, right?
It's because of his illustrious easy cakewalk win.
If that's what you're gonna call it, I'm not gonna call it that. I'm not gonna call it that. I'm not gonna say that.
The odds is 10-1.
I mean,
you laid a house on that one. That's one of those you laid a house. You paid a 10 to get the 1 on the Geechi versus Tech. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean the battle rap community.
Yeah,
they wanted Geechi to shut Tech up. You know what I mean? They wanted Geechi to do what he did. You know what I'm saying? And he has satisfied the likes of the battle rap community and the fans and, you know, the battle rappers and everything. Geechi is like the people's champ right now.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. He could do no wrong. And I like his first champion of the night for this year against JC because that was a good JC that bounced back after a losing streak, in my opinion. He battled in a very difficult climate of Born Legacy Supreme where the air conditioner is out. And he's the only guy that was like not affected by it, you know.
What is up with smacking these air conditioner problems this year, man?
Yo, man, I don't know. You get these cheap venues and then the bottom of the contract is like ain't no air conditioner or some shit. I don't know.
Oh man, I don't know, man. We're gonna attribute that to the fact that Smack and them haven't traveled the globe in a minute, and and they're just looking around and finding venues and stuff like that. So we're not gonna get smacking them too much flack for that, man. They're trying to do what they can do.
Just trolling, but
yeah, I know.
Just a little situation.
But still, man.
But I do gotta respect the MCs that can fight through the climate and give a stellar performance, because those are the people I give major salute to, props to,
Right.
and these guys are just, they're breathing and screaming and moving and they're about to die. And so
Man.
going back to number 3 and 4, yeah, Geechi Gotti and Twork, they're gonna see each other eventually. That's a mega fight
Yeah.
waiting to happen, but they have to get.
I would think that Twork was going to be higher based off the fact that Twork has such a vast fan base and that he, I don't know, he does battle more than Geechi, but Geechi still does a lot of battles on the side as well. You understand what I'm saying? But we seeing Twork every damn week. I mean, 1 minute he's on fucking Gnome, and then the next minute he battling in the back of McDonald's parking lots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the list is strictly URL, so I can make
right.
I can make the argument that Geechi's having a better year than Twork. That's pretty easy to argue, I think, because Twork.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, Geechi doesn't have a clear loss. He don't have a loss at all. Twork has a very clear loss to Mr. Wavy.
He gave Mr. Wavy champion of the night. I mean, people want to make it debatable, but once the bread is out, that's it. Like, fuck your opinion. There's this battle, and Twork had a bigger moment against Verb, but some people still have Verb winning it, and the poll's actually pretty split on that battle too. So
I still think Verb won that battle. I just watched that battle 3 days ago, and I still think Verb won that battle. I got Verb winning the second round. That's just me personally.
No, I'm with you there too. But Twork had the bigger moment, so Twork's gonna win the longevity of the battle. I'm not mad at that.
Right. We have something in battle rap called stand'em, not fandom, but stand'em. You know what I'm saying? You have battle rappers whose fan base tells them that they never lose. You know what I mean? Big K just made a doggone blog saying he's undefeated. So, Big K is on drugs.
Big K thinks he's never lost a round, bro. So that
yeah, I mean, like,
that's another argument in itself.
You got your ass beat 3 times back. You know what?
Yo, you know what? I was actually shocked. You know what? Now that you mentioned Big K, I want to see, where is Big K on this list? He should be in the 40s.
Oh, brother, we kept the file.
Oh yeah, he didn't even make the list, I think. Oh, here he goes. He's on
July 27th.
He's on number 38. He's above X Factor. We got to do something. We got to have a conversation about this.
Ooh. Above X Factor? And the people loved X Factor when he came back.
He had a great performance. Big K.
Yes. And I mean, like,
this is crazy.
The people loved it. Like, us diehard X Factor fans, yes, of course, we loved it, but the battle rap community overall, like the fans and everything, like, the response to it was great. Like, nobody had no complaints about X performance. But yet, Big K comes back and gets on his T-Rex shit and gave us, you know what I mean? Man, mixtape verse at the mixtape verse to T-Top. You know what I mean? And he's high in X Factor.
I think after number 15, people just stopped caring about what's going on the list. I think like from 20 to like 40, you're just like, all right, this might not be accurate, but like they centralized the top 10 clearly.
Yeah.
So we've gone through the top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get to the bottom 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh.
Well, we talked about Hollow.
Yeah, we talked about Hollow. And number 6, the reigning champion of the year, Mr. O-Red, is number 6.
Yeah.
I like O-Red between the number 7 and 8 spot. I think JC is definitely in the 5 and 6 spot over O-Red, but I'm not too mad at it. O-Red had a phenomenal performance against Cortez, won a champion of the night. Had a pretty good performance against DNA. Not great, but good. But, you know, it was the end of the night after 8 battles and no air conditioner. I got to give it his respect.
Yeah, man. It wasn't on the level of his performance against Cortez or nothing like that. But he had a pretty good performance. Some people actually have, you know, O-Red winning that battle as well.
It's debatable.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't really like to call battles debatable too much, but that's one that's kind of like, you just pick them. You pick them in the air. Nobody really moves up or down from this battle. I think just the timing of it wasn't suitable.
Yeah, I mean,
the theme of the battle wasn't good. They shouldn't have battled on that card, in my opinion.
No, I definitely feel like that was not the card for that battle. That was weird to me. I think that was a known battle.
That was a known battle.
That was a known battle. Like DNA should have battled JC on that card, and Geechi should have battled somebody else, maybe Twerk. Who knows? But
you really want to you can't rush these things, man. We gotta let it marinate.
you can't rush him. But I'm saying, I mean, Twerk don't want to rush it. I ain't saying rush it, you know what I mean? But he's saying, oh, we need a hitman, Tay Roc type build up. No, that
Nah, I
shit was
mean,
like
nah,
300 years old. No.
yeah,
Geechi ain't spoke about it. I'm just interested to see how Geechi feel. Whenever it happens, I will appreciate it. I just don't want these guys' stock to go down at any point in time in their career, and then we don't want to see it no more. You
yeah.
understand what I'm
We
saying?
might need
Like,
to wait 6 years, but we definitely
yeah.
could give it another year or two. I think.
Yeah, we got some battles where they should have been happened, and by the time they happen, we were like, we
Way
wanted to
past
see
his
this.
prime. Yeah, way past his prime.
Yeah,
Well, now see the thing is when we have battles past its prime, it's because the guys were in the pinnacle of their careers. Do we think Geechi and Twerk's in the pinnacle? I think they're still getting started. I think there's still more to see.
yeah, they're still in the early stages of their careers, and I mean they're in their URL infancy, actually. You know what I mean? So they still got a ton more battles to go. You know, I mean they both got to get more vets. You know, within their resume or whatnot. Like as far as vets from the early URL days, I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Twerk's got a couple. Twerk has definitely got a couple. He's got a couple this year on his resume, you know, from the early Smack days. Geechi's got to get some more on his list as well. You know what I mean? That battle is going to determine a lot, but it's about when it happens. You know what I mean? Geechi versus Twerk is all about when it happens. They definitely got to strike when the iron is hot and when both of them are ready in
I
prime
love that
shape.
we're talking into this into existence within its time because for when it comes and we've seen everything that they have done over the last year or two and their growth, it's gonna mean that much more to like fans like you and me.
Right?
And to double back to the bottom five, number six, Ored. What's interesting about Ored's spot on the power rankings? Check this out, right? Every other voter got over 1,000 votes. Ored is the only one on the top 10 power ranking list with less than 1,000 votes to agree with him. He has 945 votes agreeing, but he has 528 votes disagreeing. So he has the least
What?
people physically disagreeing with him, even though his percentage is high. But physically, he has the least disagrees on the entire poll.
Mm.
Interesting.
Very.
So
Wow.
it goes to show that I think the rankings as a whole it matters more of people who don't agree with you than who do agree with you. Like they understand favoritism, so they rather see who's against the grain, and that's how Ored climbed the ranking of it. Statistically, it's just like wow, like he's right there, but number wise, it's just like it doesn't add up to the rest, and I don't understand why people would gloss over Ored. Why doesn't he have another 400 votes on both ends? You know, but
I don't know, man.
Ored number
The
six,
the people are talking.
number seven. Beat I know we're definitely gonna have.
1,000%.
I think we're definitely gonna disagree with this one. I know I do strongly. What do you think of Beat being number seven?
Um, basing it off of this year, um,
2018.
the people want to see B Dot more on URL. Period. I mean, it shows the people love what he does when he comes to URL. He had a great showing versus Mike P, but Mike P also had a great showing against B Dot. You know what I mean? So it proves that people want B Dot to be a main fixture on the URL. Period, point blank, and they want to show URL like, look, don't let this motherfucker run back to King of the Down to LA Battlegrounds and you know what I mean, be taking on his competition. No, keep him over here because we like him over here and what he does here. So at the end of the day, man, people want to see B Dot on URL. So yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at B Dot being there
I'm
or
not mad
whatever.
at
I'm
Beat but
surprised that he's higher than I'm surprised he's higher than a couple of guys that he's under them.
Yes,
That are under him, I mean.
exactly. I'm not mad he's made the top 10 because, like I said, B-Dot's is the next face of things, and I'm glad that there's at least 3 people on this list that are still brand new, I guess, to us in a sense, where their battle catalog isn't that extensive, so there's still a lot of energy left for their career. But for me, putting B-Dot above like a JC who had tough assignments, putting him above a John the Don and a Shotgun Suge, that just kind of like mind boggles me, where it's like, damn, not to discredit what B-Dot has done, but it's safe to say these guys have had tougher assignments. Like, I will put B-Dot right in the 9th or 10th spot, but he's definitely top 10. But that also shows, like you said, how many people want to see him, and I think that's what humbles him the most, where it's like he's happy that there's this big of a request of people. Yo, we need more B-Dot. We need more B-Dot. What we need the most is B-Dot to leave the West already. Geechi's left the nest, and Geechi got a champion of the night away from Cali. All right, so we ready to see B-Dot leave the nest.
Yeah, and now he's left the nest, and he's got 1,277 votes up and 742 votes down, and a disagree percentage of 58 with one battle.
With one battle, that's crazy. With
one battle.
On this entire list, there are 4 guys with one battle: Tay Roc, B-Dot, John the Don, and Hollow. And with one battle, all these guys have been able to kind of make the conversation where they can be shifted on the list higher or lower. They can be top 10 with one battle. Sometimes less is really more.
It's the impact that you have when you on that stage, period. Because, I mean, I would think if we just doing a URL ranking, that Twork would have been like number 2 under Tay Roc, based on the, you know what I mean, the way the fans perceive things.
I agree with you. Comparing the people with one battle, right? Hollow and B-Dot, for example. Would you say Hollow's having a better year than B-Dot? I wouldn't necessarily agree with that.
I don't know. I mean, Hollow's going to London, and Hollow got revenge on Arsenal. You know what I mean? Hollow got his revenge on Arsenal, so, I mean, that looks good in the eyes of the people, because we wanted Hollow to get his revenge on Arsenal, and the nigga put the fucking Yankee jacket and the hat on from, you know what I mean, the Fight Club shit. So, I mean, he's left a lasting impression. I mean, he's had an impact on the URL this year, and the fact that we're about to see him go to London and take on John, it makes people excited about seeing him. This list is about who are people excited to see. You know what I mean? So
very well said, and I definitely you struck some good points there, man. And
thank you, my brother.
On the number 8 of the list, JC. Damn, man. You know, before the poll closed, JC was bouncing around this list. He was number 4. He was number 5. He was number 6. You know, he never number 1, 2, and 3 was solidified. Tay Roc, Geechi, Twork for like a long period of time, and then number 4 was solidified with Rum Nitty, and I guess Rum Nitty just passed the gap last minute. But JC just kept bouncing around 4, 6, 5, 7, 4, 5. Like, and I feel like JC should be in the top 5. Like, my top 5 would be Tay Roc, Geechi, Twork, JC, Nitty. That would be my top 5 for the year. JC is definitely having. It's crazy because the end of 2017, he kind of overworked himself, taking 3 battles like in the span of like 7 weeks, and I thought he lost all 3 of them. I know you probably thought he lost at least 2 of the 3. A lot of people thought he was on a losing streak, and for him to just bounce right back and be in the conversation and be arguably top 5 or top 10 in URL, just coming off a losing streak, it just, you can wipe off these losing streaks with just a performance or 2. Bam, you know.
I mean, but the great poet Loaded Lux once said, "It ain't about how many fights you had; it's who you fought." And the fact of the matter was, JC shut DNA up. You know what I mean? Like,
sorry, JC upset it.
Yeah, like nobody foreseen that.
Yeah, some people had JC winning, and I'm not mad at that. Like, you could have made the argument JC could have won on paper, but when you seen DNA's first round, how dominant he was, and the paradigm just shifted to the point where the crowd just then hated DNA and loved JC, and he stood composed the entire time. That was crazy.
Oh man, he took that champagne bottle and snatched the momentum.
It was
You know what I
really,
mean?
yeah,
So it's just the
intense.
things that you do within these performances that leave a lasting impression. I mean, if that wouldn't happen, because the consensus is that Geechi Gotti beat JC
Mm-hmm.
in North Carolina. He got champion of the night for it. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? If JC does not beat DNA, he doesn't make this top 10.
Wow, that's a good point you made. And you know what? DNA, even though DNA ranked number 14 on the list, he's a strong 14 where like he can easily bounce to a top 10 or top 5 because O-Red and DNA and JC both have like DNA on their resume for for 2018, and they're both in the top 10.
Right? JC has 1,243 votes up. Oh, let me go back to my list. Damn it!
And
Phone's doing some
747
goofy
votes
shit.
down. So he has a total disagree percentage of 60%.
It's a disagreement total of just 60%. Yeah, right.
That is pretty high.
So
That is pretty high.
that is very high. 60%.
That lets you know that like at this moment moving forward, everything else is just straight negative. If the guys in the top 10 are being disagreed by 60% of the culture who voted on this list, I can't.
Your number 11, you don't want to see.
I can't even imagine what like the number 25 and the number 38 and 40 looks like. It must be crazy. The bottom of the list now, number 9 and number 10. Do you feel like John and Shotgun Suge are being underrated for being this low on this list?
Yeah, I mean, making a URL list, definitely, I feel like they're being underrated because well, John John's had one battle this year on URL. But the fact of the matter is he beat Rum Nitty. So that holds weight. And how many fights you had is who you fought.
Yeah.
He beat Rum, who just came off a debatable classic with Iron that was Battle of the Year for 2017. That holds a lot of weight in the fans' eyes and, within his demand, the people want to see him or whatnot. So that plays a major role in him making his list, and being where he's at. But, you can't be too mad at him being number 9 with him only having that one battle. You understand what I'm saying? When there are people on here who have had, like, the most battles anybody's had on this list is 3. And the only person that's had 3 battles is Rum. Excuse me. No. Twork had 3 battles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but both those guys are being overworked, So like,
Right.
So they're you see them consistently, and you got to think to yourself, Twork will have 4 battles on this card if he had battled Danny.
He would. How about that? So then, if Twork had battled Danny, where would he be on this list? It's a good question. Would he be number 1? Would he be number 2? Would he be number 3? Like, this list might be a little bit, stirred up had that battle took place.
Wow.
You know what I
mean? That one battle could change the whole dynamic of the list, where he can move up, or had he lost, he would have moved down probably 2 spots because he already had.
Yeah, but I mean,
and he had the wavy close battle with Verb. Say he would have lost to Danny, but beat Suge, then it would have been like, all right, you have 2 clear losses, debatable, and 1 win on your resume for the year. You're below 500.
Right. I'm surprised that Suge didn't at least crack the top 6. Like, he just made the list with 10. Suge has 1,143 votes up and 705 votes down. A disagree percentage of 62 with 2 battles. And that's Glue Easy and Twork.
Yeah, man, he's the gatekeeper. And I feel like, you know what's interesting? The consensus by a large number have Suge losing to Twork, but not in a bad way. Like, nobody's saying Twork killed Suge.
Right.
The poll was a landslide. Like, when the poll dropped after the battle, like, I think the poll was like 70-30. I was like, wow, I thought this battle was a little closer than 70-30. But everybody that said Suge lost was happy with his loss.
Everybody was saying Suge was impressive.
Yeah, so like
Everybody was saying like they didn't know that Suge had the capability to do what he did in a twerk battle. They knew that's what he should have done, but they didn't think he was the type of person like his style would be able to cater to doing what he did, and he did it. You know what I'm saying? A great job of, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain what he did in a twerk battle, you know what I mean, without being long-winded. You know what I mean? But it was dope. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't lay down, you know what I'm saying? And he sat there and he fought, you know what I mean? I don't want to get too deep into that battle and analyzing it, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Without getting too deep into it, it's crazy that like it did so much for Twork, but it was good enough to give Suge a reason to be in the top 10.
Right. It didn't put a scratch on Suge.
Exactly.
It did so much for Twork without putting a scratch on Suge.
Yes, exactly. And I'm just a little upset with the bottom of the list, like John and Suge, where I'm like, I think people discredit John so much in his career, and like you mentioned, like that winning against Rum at the time, when Rum was labeled the most dangerous puncher, coming off the best battle of 2017, and looking like he's back in rare form, he beats him clearly.
Yeah,
that's a big win. That's probably one of the biggest wins, I think, on this entire board, if you really want to be honest with ourselves, because I also put on my notes here who was the favorite going into matches, who was the underdog, and only people that were underdogs in certain matches that there was that big of an underdog was John. He was that big of an underdog in that match, and he came out winning. JC was a big underdog against DNA, in my opinion, but he came out winning too.
Exactly. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it.
Facts. I think.
You know what I mean? It's the fashion in which niggas won in that, you know what I mean, is holding so much weight. It's not like niggas just sneaking by with a win. No, it's like a clear ass win, like super clear. You know what I mean? It can't be debated. You know what I mean? So this is why a lot of guys are where they are on the list, because of the value that their performances have within the eyes of the fans. This list is about staying power.
How would you rearrange 6 to 10 if you had to?
So I could rearrange 6 to 10. Let me see. I would probably put Suge where B Dot is.
Suge and B Dot would swap. Suge would be 7th. B Dot would be 10th.
Right.
You can go at the same spot, 6 and 8, or I will move it. I will swap that.
No, I would keep on Red where he's at because he's the champion.
Yeah, okay.
As a matter of fact, no, I would move Red to top 5. I would move Hollow to where JC is. So I would move Red to where Hollow is at 5. I will put Suge at 6. I will put Hollow at 7. I would put John at 8. JC at 9. And I'll put B Dot at 10.
I think I might have an argument with you. Is Hollow the Don having a better year than John the Don? I mean, yeah, they have a match coming up, but they both have one battle, so they have the exact same amount of data to analyze and sample size.
That's true. I really can't argue with that.
I think John's actually having a better year.
But okay, so I got a question for you. Was Hollow's material against Arsenal better than John's material against Rum Nitty? Since you want to go there.
I think for one round it was. But you know what? I'll tell you this. Hollow's first round against Arsenal was probably better than all of John's 3 rounds. Is that too bold? Is that too bold to say, or would you agree?
I want to go back to the game tapes. I don't want to say something that, I might have to take back later. I got to stand on what I say, so I'm not going to say that right now.
I mean, I think it was better than all three of his rounds, but again, a battle's 3 rounds, so like it doesn't matter if one round is
Yeah,
better than, so you can still lose with one amazing round. But I do think that first round from Hollow was incredible. He had just given us one more of those rounds between the second and the third, we probably wouldn't be arguing about the Arsenal battle being so bad.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I still watched it multiple times. I just skip Arsenal.
But there's an argument to make there because even though you can say Hollow had a better round than or better material than John John had the tougher assignment. That's why Hollow and John
He
John
did.
that's why Hollow and John John such a great match. I love this list, honestly. Like every name on this list deserves to be there. I would just tweak the placements just if we're gonna talk about index and break it down and be analyst. It's nothing personal to the MCs, but it's just it creates fun dialogue as a fan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at the list either or who's on it myself. You know what I mean? To me, their names are pretty accurate. You know what I mean? And it's just opinionated. You know what I mean? I would probably move a couple names around. You know what I mean? If I'm basing it off of my opinion, you know what I mean, personally, and what I've seen, you know what I mean, on the internet and through the fans' eyes
I might try to.
and what people are tweeting.
I might try to redo this list right here for you, and you let me know what you think. You might strongly agree, you might strongly disagree. I would have Tay Roc at 1, Geechi Gotti at 2, Twork at 3. I would have JC at 4. I would have Rum Nitty at 5. At 6, I would have O'Red. 7, I would have John John. 8, I would have Hollow. 9, I would have Suge, and at 10, I would have B Dot.
I'm not putting Rum Nitty under Twerk though, because
I mean,
because
in stature,
because I have Verb beating Twerk. I'm sorry, I have Verb beating Twerk, and Twerk lost to Mr. Wavy as well, and Rum he lost to John John, and some people will say that Rum and Surf is debatable. Some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? When it hits YouTube, you know what I mean, and the fans who didn't buy the pay-per-view get to finally experience that battle, a lot of people on it are going to sit there and match Surf's pen and Rum's pen in the second roundup and say that it's debatable. People will find a way to say that Rum won that battle. And I'm saying that they have every right to do so. I mean, Surf's second round wasn't too crazy. I still give him the second round because I like this round better. But, I mean, Nitty said a lot of stuff in his second round.
The argument for putting Twerk over Rum Nitty, I guess, would be that Twerk got a champion of the night on the same card Rum Nitty was on. And I'm not gonna lie, champion of the night, I love it, but it is what it is. Certain champion of the nights matter more than others. Like making it at Survivor Series, no disrespect, is not as difficult as it would be on a Gnome card where every battle could headline a card. Every battle is your top stars and some of the best in the world. Where the Survivor Series card are people that are trying to break through and find their rhythm and their voice. So like certain champion of the nights like way different. So whoever wins on a Gnome card, on the Summer Madness card, that stands out. And Twerk won it on a Gnome 8. That's big.
With plenty of vets on the card.
That's big, bruh. I think that's special, personally. I think that's
in a city he's never been to, in a city URL's never been to.
Facts.
With a Surf return.
Against the gatekeeper. Listen, there's an argument to make for probably putting Twerk above Rum Nitty, I think. But that's
strapped in.
That's why I love the list.
Yeah, I mean, see, I can argue with you there, but at the same time, I can't argue with you. You know what I mean? This is the beauty of battle rap being such an opinionated sport, because we could talk about this shit for hours and just never get bored and never not find a comparison to make. You know, you know what I mean, between like which battle rapper is better and why, who's having a better year, or who's had a better career. We can talk about this forever. You know what I mean? But still in all, this list, the power reigns, is about who's in high demand, who the people want to see. And you cannot deny the numbers, period. And the fact that you
I love
talk
this. I love it as a whole. I love it.
like, and the fact are like pretty much like what you said at the beginning about the quality, you know what I mean, and the high rating for this website, you know, within the Google universe says a lot, you know, as far as like the accuracy goes. So, gotta respect the list and know that like this is just what it is. This is etched in stone at this period in time during battle rap in 2018, and this is what's going on. So when somebody gets booked on a card that you don't want to see, or somebody that you do want to see doesn't get booked on a card, you got to go back and reference this list and look at who's in demand within this league. They got to go who the people want because it's about who's selling tickets. Am I wrong?
Well said, bro. Well said. And you know, I wish there was more, like, I guess, energy and thought process into the rest of the list past like later on, because I think there's a lot to talk about as well from like number 11. I think number 11 is Goods. Goods could easily be, you can argue for Goods to be in the top 10 as well.
Yeah.
I think no, I'm sorry.
Who's number 11 again?
Number 11 is Ill Will. Number 12 is Goods.
Mm.
You it's Ill Will got left off the list and he 30 T top. Goods got left off the list and he was
Man.
Goods got left off the list and he was probably the biggest underdog than anybody else on the list for his match against Tay Roc.
I walk on stage and it feels like a drug block.
You know what I'm saying? So then I can't wait.
Oh.
I can't wait till September and this list reopens. I gotta drop this
You
episode.
already got to bring Goods back before the year's out, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That nigga said that the stamps say housewife stays in the kitchen. Oh my God. They got to bring Goods back before the year's over with. Hopefully they come to Philadelphia before the year's over with because they've been making these polls too. So let's put that poll on Power Ranking and see where URL should go next, Smack.
Yo, your city needs a battle event. Your city needs a URL event. It's been asking for one for years. 4 years.
Yeah, but you know, they're probably wanting to figure out, you know, what the environment is like in Philadelphia and what the battle rap scene is like in Philadelphia as well. And they're probably trying to like recruit some Philly talent to have on the card or whatnot. But I think it does not necessarily have to be a Philadelphia-based card. Give us a card like y'all gave Houston, you know what I'm saying, a card. And give us like 1 or 2 Philly battles, and I'll be fine. They make it all Philly card, I'd definitely be fine with that too. But if that's what their focus is, then it's gonna, you know what I mean, take a minute because we don't have many Philly representatives on Smack. So
I got a proposal to you. How do you feel about this? If they made a volume card in Philly, VIP, so you can obviously buy a ticket to attend it. So they made it volume style, so that way all of the Philly natives, all the all the legends, all the guys from back in the day could battle in a closed room where they're a little more comfortable, and you'll get the best performance out of them. Then you get Frank on the card. You get Frank on the card. You get Boom on the card. You get Cicero on the card. You get, I know you probably want them to prove themselves on the stage. I feel you on that. But
see, this is why niggas gotta watch Champion Live.
I love small room battles over big room battles. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, when we get to the playbook, I'm going to ask you something we talked about with a small room versus big room battle. We're not even going to talk about the topic right now. When we get into the playbook, we're going to delve into that. We're definitely going to delve into that, and I'll leave it at that. But this is why you got to watch Champion Live because today's episode I heard was fire. I couldn't watch it because I was in the process of being out and buying a new phone, so I was pissed and they don't do the playback. But a few weeks ago on Champion Live, they were talking about Smack is probably going to do like a smaller venue first before he does a big venue here. So it'd probably be like a Born Legacy style, maybe like one-off type setting somewhere where, you know what I mean, they do it first. So, I mean, hey, whatever happens, man, just bring a card to Philadelphia. There's too many locations here where Smack could throw a battle, you know what I mean, that'll hold a URL capacity crowd. I want Summer Madness.
Let's see the volume first. Then we
You want to
talk.
bring Summer Madness to Philly in 2019? I'll wait. I can wait.
Let's see if the
If it's
Sixers.
Summer Madness,
Let's see if the Sixers make the playoffs. They get to the conference finals, and then they're gonna be like, now we gotta give the city an event.
no. You're forgetting something. You're forgetting a key thing. We just won a Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, against the GOAT.
I'm sorry. I will not take that away from your city. Did you get? I have a question. How ignorant did you get after the win?
Oh man, I ain't get too ignorant because I ain't go to Broad Street. I partied with some of my friends from work or whatnot, and I mean it got kind of crazy down their area, but I wasn't that far from home, so I just got to watch other people wild out and be stupid, and I just drank right there in front of the cops. Cops let us do what we wanted.
People
He
were
was winning
breaking
Super Bowl,
cars
man.
and they were happy about it. It was amazing. Like people were getting it.
Yeah.
Like if your car window got smashed in the morning, you just shrugged it off like, we won a Super Bowl.
Listen, man, my face was so numb the next morning from so much drinking and being intoxicated and having a headache and trying to take a doggone Advil in the morning, knowing I gotta go to work the next day. And when I look at all that footage and see what people was up Broad Street doing, and people were downtown doing, I'm like, I'm glad I stayed my black ass where the hell I was at.
That's hilarious, man.
So, man, these power rankings, though, man, they say a lot.
It's fun. And
They say a lot. I mean, this is face-off fuel.
All we need is to create a dialogue in battle rap and make it fun. When you do that, it revolves on its own. It keeps creating.
Yeah, battle rap should be fun, period. It shouldn't be something that you get stressed out talking about or stressed out enjoying. Trying to enjoy, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or stressed out thinking about. Battle rap should be fun. You know what I mean? It should be something that we all enjoy. Example, like I told Suge, and he didn't really respond, you know what I mean, to it, but Big T responded to it, you know what I mean, when I mentioned it to him, and I mentioned to both of them during the conversation, like, if we were to see them put out blogs with them in the studio or behind the scenes with them doing a video or, hey, this is a day in the life of, me in my city, this, that, and third. We had blogs and stuff like that from them. It'd give us something else to do as well as something else to talk about and create dialogue, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if each battle rapper did like an In My Hood series, you know what I mean, where a camera follows them, throughout their city or whatever, and they just narrate it.
Yeah, man. Like I want to see their personalities more. Like, and I don't want to ever correlate it to their That's a problem, right? Sometimes battle rappers try to show their personality. Then you have some fans or some weird people on the internet that'll see like a video of somebody dancing or doing something fun and be like, "Oh, you're not writing for a battle. Oh, you're gonna get killed. Why are you making a video?" Like, no.
How you moonwalk on skates and clap heat?
like these guys, they want to just live their life and enjoy themselves without people harassing them about a battle all the time. And I want to know about their personalities and their thought process and how does it all come together and formulate.
Nigga, did you play with Legos as a child? You know what I'm saying? Like, what cartoon did you watch? What cereal did you eat? Something, anything. So a glimpse of your personality.
I would love to have a movie discussion with Shotgun Suge. That's what I would love to do.
Yeah. Gotta get Suge on the show, man. Definitely gotta reach out to Suge and make it happen and get him up there. I think you guys would definitely be able to pull a dope interview out of Suge.
I think so too, man. I think so too.
I mean, these power rankings, man, it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Because I think this is gonna be face-off fuel, bro. I really do. I think when niggas argue, they're going to use this as an arguing tool. Tay Roc could tell Hitman he was going to make these argue in the power ranking.
They should.
Because should. The bottom of the rankings, nigga, I was number 3.
This can easily be a great argument. I can't wait to see two battle rappers use their power rankings in the face-off and argue about their year. That's what's gonna make the power rankings. That's what will make the power rankings official. When battle rappers take it serious in themselves and start arguing with it. Oh, how am I number 2 when I did this? John John's gonna say, how am I number 9 when I beat the number 2?
Yeah. And Johnny said he's going till September. He's logging off until September. He said that yesterday. Changed his name to going to September and everything.
So great. That is great. I loved hearing that. That is great. Focused.
John's gonna come out the cave with a Forrest Gump beard. He's gonna have an afro. He gonna be wearing no glasses. He's gonna be ready for Hollow.
Oh man. Yo, Money, I think we definitely covered the entire power rankings, man, and I guess we gotta drop this episode ASAP before shit changes, and we gotta come back September 1st when the shit gets crazy all over again.
Hey man, Brad, you ready for the next 4 weeks in battle rap?
Oh, I'm ready. August is gonna be bananas, but I'm ready.
Everything
is gonna be like the first week of free agency where like your phone is just like going off every 5-10 minutes of the day, and you have to follow what the fuck is going on every fucking hour of battle rap and cover this and cover that and recap this and recap that. But you know, that's a day in the life of a commentator.
And I tell you, man, about 6 months ago, today actually marks 6 months. I've actually been a part of battle rap culture, and 6 months ago, I didn't think I'd be examining and studying battle rap and battle rappers the way I do today. You know what I mean? But I'm enjoying every minute of it because why? This is supposed to be fun. The day I let battle rap stress me out, I'll quit being a part of battle rap. You know what I mean? And I don't foresee that day coming. Whistle ever, no time soon, ever. I'm having too much fun. Some people stress themselves out with this.
Once it stops being fun, I'm off this, man. I've said it plenty of times, but I'm having a blast. I'm enjoying the shit out of this, and I can't wait to see what this month looks like. This month is going to change everything.
Hey, man. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. August? We're going to talk about August when it's over. Yeah, I got to get ready for the playbook. P will definitely be back.